Hi, my name is Josephine and this is my Halloween special. Finally, after a year of working on my FNAF series, we are down to the last doll, which is Freddy. Keep on watching to find out why I have decided to make Freddy the last installment of the series. It's very poetic that last year's Halloween doll was the puppet that started this whole series. Link to that video is in the cards above. I have selected this Deuce Gorgon doll to be my victim this time. Actually, I only have 2 male dolls left in my stash, and I didn't want to repeat base dolls in this series. Off comes Deuce's snake hair. This part does require a little bit of force, so make sure you have a strong grip on your doll. I use pliers to lift the hair from the scalp. Melt the face paint off with 100% acetone. I sand off his scale tattoos, we won't be needing those. I gave the entire doll a good coat of MSC sealant. After doing this, I realized it would be easier to add the gnarly looking black parts to his hands first. I wanted the dolls from this series to look like a collection, so that is why I added this detail to all the dolls. I use wire and some hot glue to create the hands. I then paint them black. Let's begin his face. I do have to admit that I was a little lost when doing his face. I didn't really know where to go, and I didn't want him to look too similar to Foxy or Bonnie. The thing I did know was I wanted his skin a little bit darker than everyone else. Because according to the FNAF lore, Freddy's animatronic body is possessed by a little boy called Gabriel. And to me, Gabriel sounds like a Latino name. This was also a chance for me to test out my new pan pastels. And I do have to say they are way better than my old ones. They blend easy and still have a lot of color payoff, even from a small amount of product. I sketched his face off camera because I didn't really know what direction to take. I worked slowly, building up the eye whites, his eyebrows and lip color. I seal my work every time I need a new layer to work on. I add a lot of freckles and purple veins to his skin to make it look more realistic and detailed. Because I didn't remove his head, I can blush his body and work on his face at the same time. In some versions of Freddy, he is depicted with blue eyes, so I added that to my doll. I really liked the tears on my puppet doll, so Freddy is getting some too. I added a lot of purple pastel around his eyes to make him look tired and disturbed. I add the reflections to his eyes and deepen some of the shadows before the final coat of sealant. I gloss the eyes, lips and the tear with my Tamiya gloss glaze. I try to list all my materials in the description box for you guys, so take a look there if you need more information on what I'm using. The hands needed a little bit more detail, so I added some loose wires. Now to his clothes. I took out all my previous patterns that could work as a jumping off point. I ended up using Foxy's coat pattern and the pant pattern from my cyborg video. I ended up making a new pattern for the shirt and vest combination. Jackson is standing in as the model for now. Freddy wears a top hat and black bow in the games, and some of his versions has red accents. The top hat and red made me think of an old-fashioned ringmaster's tailcoat and vest. And Freddy is the leader of the group. Even the restaurant is named Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. I cut out all the pieces from my fabrics. I wanted to use the same striped fabric on Freddy as I did on Foxy, so the vest gets made out of that fabric. Because we are working on doll scale, I combined the vest and the shirt into a single piece. I added pockets, buttons and buttonholes. I made a necktie out of a black shiny fabric, and I used one of the gems I got from Katharina as decoration. I hem all the coat pieces before I start putting them together. I also closed the darts on the front pieces. Then it's the matter of putting the pieces together. I wanted to originally add gold details to the coat, but decided that this silver and dark grey ribbon will actually look better. I added a snap closure to the front of the coat and decorated it with these silver things I also got from Katharina. The coat's edges also get trimmed with silver ribbon. The pants are nothing special, I just made them more high-waisted to make sure you could not see any skin under the vest. Now let's slice his head open. It would have been better to do it before the face-up, but I forgot. The reason why we need to do brain surgery is to hide a magnet in there. I thinned out the vinyl from the inside to make sure there was not too much material between the magnets. Before gluing his head cap back on, I used hot glue to secure the magnet in place. In the game, Freddy is obviously brown, because he is supposed to look like a teddy bear. So choosing his hair color was very straightforward. I like to use yarn or alpaca fiber for dolls that I know will be getting a short hairstyle. I prep the yarn the same way I always do. Cut, tie, brush out, straighten, cut out, glue to a plastic bag, peel off and trim. Always start at the back of the head when applying wefts. To save on hair, I cut off the excess and re-glue it to the scalp. I styled his hair off camera. Now it's time to see how everything looks on him. I'm not liking how droopy the velvet looks, especially on the sleeves. The front is also looking kind of droopy and wrinkly. To fix that, I added a small piece of fusible interfacing to the back of the front pieces. To remedy the droopiness of the sleeves, I decided to cut off the left one. I did this also to add wear and tear to the outfit. Some of the scenes in the game are very dilapidated, old and run down, so adding dirt, grime and holes to the clothing is needed. Let's make Freddy's signature top hat. I'm measuring his head and marking it onto my craft foam. I try on the pieces to make sure the size, width and length looks correct. I know I could have used math to figure out the radius for the circle, but let's just wing it. My winging worked for the brim, but I decided to glue the hat down and then cut it out to get the right fit. I used the heat from a lighter to shape the hat and the brim. There is some bumps on the hat, so I filled them in and sanded everything smooth. Or should I say smooth-ish? Then I just painted the outside of the hat black. I decided to leave the inside red to tie in with the other red elements. Because Freddy already has 3 pieces of clothing and the top hat and the mask, I was too tired to make the shoes completely from scratch. So this time I'm giving these factory shoes a little paint job. I actually like the golden color, it reminds me of Golden Freddy, a nice nod to that character. Now the mask. I need to make it out of air dry clay to keep it as light as possible. I protect the doll's face with kitchen wrap and start shaping out the mask. The mask warped when it dried despite all my efforts trying to prevent that. So now I need to try and thin it out from the inside to make it more flush with his face. I made the small details and filled in the cracks with magic sculpt. I did struggle with this mask still after already making 4 of them at this point. I think the problems came down to these magnets I used. They were not as strong as I would have liked. I had to add a second pair of magnets to get the mask to stay in place. His hair does cover the second magnet, but it's not as neat as I would have liked. After the paint job, I cover the backside of the mask with fabric, and Freddy is done. Here is all the dolls together. I'm quite happy to call this series done. After making 5 dolls that are all the same style and have similar design features, I just don't have the creative energy or interest to make more dolls from this franchise. And I think it's easy to draw the line here and only do the quote-unquote 5 main characters. And there is more than 100 different characters or variations of them in the games, so I could never do them all. Comment down below if you have any cool ideas for a repaint series. I'm always interested to hear from you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching and happy Halloween! Subscribe if you haven't yet done that and hit the bell while you're at it. Like this video and leave a comment. I would love to know what you think of Freddy. Until next time, bye!